Hello, everyone. We want to welcome you to our webinar today. We're excited to have Tracy Bergetsker from Innovia Consulting, and Tracy is going to be reviewing with us Dynamics BC SaaS sending documents electronically. And before I pass it over to Tracy to cover on this topic, I just want to let you know that we will be recording this as well as all of our webinars, and it will be available in our on-demand webinar library for you to review and share with anyone. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to type those into the questions box, and we'll get them answered as we go along in our session. So now I'm going to pass it on over to Tracy to kick off our presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Today we're going to be going over how to send documents electronically. There are a few setups involved. One of the setups, which is the most important, is setting up your SMTP, which your IT department can always help you with that internally. You want to go to the SMTP mail setup, and this will provide you your office settings for your email so you can send documents electronically via email. So that's just kind of a quick setup that does need to be reviewed and implemented. Next, we're going to go ahead to the customer card. And there are some setups there also that need to be documented and implemented. You have a document sending profile field that needs to be populated, and you can select from a list. In this case, I did create email, which is sending email reports. So I just want to go in there and I'll manage that and show you what is involved. You can set that as default if you wish. And you can set it to your printer. And we're going to do this as an email. And you have a couple options for email. You can prompt for settings, which is when you send a document, it'll ask you to send email, or we can just use it for default. I have this set up for default. Your email attachments can be in a PDF, electronic document, or PDF, any electronic document. So I'm going to choose both. What that does, well, actually, I'm going to go ahead and just do PDF. What that does, it just sends a document in a PDF formatting. You want to be electronic document, we're going to say yes. And this is going through your document exchange services. And this will default to match that for you. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK here. The next setup at the customer is your document layouts. So you go to Navigate, Customer, and Document Layouts. This is where you decide which reports you want to send to which contact to that customer. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and send an invoice. And here's your report ID where you can populate that number. And I'm going to type in my email. And you can also choose an email body layout, which you could say, thank you for your order, attached as your invoice, and you can even do the number if you'd like. That's a little more developed in the design mode. I'm going to hit OK here. I'm going to close this. I do want to show you how to find a report number. So I'm going to go to posted sales invoices. And if you open up any document, any posted document, and if you want to go to your help and support, you want to inspect pages and data. So this will come up and tell me what page I'm on. So this is a posted sales invoice and a sales invoice header because this is the window we're looking at right now. So if I want to print this, I go to print. I'm going to click on print here. So as you see over here, your page inspection changes, and now it's saying this is 1306 is my report request. So that's how you get your report number to populate your document layout. I'm going to go ahead and cancel here. And I will close my inspection page. So another setup I want to do is my customer statement. So I'm going to go back into Navigate. I'll go to Customer, Document Layouts. And then from here, I'm going to use my pull down. I'm going to say Customer Statement. You give it your report number ID. And in this case, I'm getting a little trick of the trade. I'm going to hit F8, and that will copy my email down from the line above. And that's really the basic setup to sending documents electronically. Now, as you see, we can do a quote, confirmation order, credit memos, a job quote, any reminders, and you can do a shipments. So these are basically your options for sending documents electronically. So now that we have our setup, we're going to go ahead and set up our job queue. I'll go back to the main page here. And I'm going to search for my job queue entries. So you see here, I have my first one set, which is to my invoice. And I'm going to go ahead and edit this so I can go over the setup. Make this a little bigger. So your object to run is going to be a report. You tie it to your report number. And you have your strings. Let's see, should be able to. And you give it your start and date time. So I'm going to go ahead and set up a new one for my statement. I'm going to go new. And our object to run is our statement. So down here, you request your page, and it gives you your printing criteria. So in this case, our statement is going to start at January of 2019. We'll end that at the end of August of this year. You choose which criteria works best for your business process. And our report output is going to be email. And you can print the email also through the PDF, since that was our setup, if you wanted to. I'm going to leave that off for now. We are going to choose our customers. If you leave it blank, it will send it to all customers, which is usually how we send the statements electronically. And the key is also using your date filter for the statements, which we did do up here. So I'm just going to hit OK, and that criteria will stick with this job queue. Now, in the future, if we get past end of August and we want to set it for the end of September, once again, you go to report request page, and then you just change this to your end of September. And you would do that for each month. There are some development codes, I believe, that can be written, but that is outside of scope of the webinar. So I'm going to hit OK. And we have this report output. We can do PDF, Word, Excel, print, and you can do none, which is processing only, which is sending it electronically. But since we did check it to print also, we're going to check it off as a PDF. So you can do this for reoccurring any day of the week you can. Well, I'm going to choose a Friday. And here, your next run date formula, you want to do this every 30 days. And your start time, you can do T for today if you'd like. So that would start at 2:08. There would be no end time. Number of minutes between runs, which means if you have other job queue entries, or if you're running this on a daily basis, you would set that to every 15 minutes if you wanted, every 30 minutes. So today's Tuesday. I'm going to set that here. And we're going to go up to actions. We're going to do job queue. And we're going to set status to ready. So here you notice it went to October 13th because of that 30-day formula I put in. So I'm going to go back and we're going to set this to hold so we can edit it. So my early start date time, excuse me, is going to be today. And you see the time went to 12 a.m. I'm going to go ahead and change this. And I will set this for 12:10 p.m. And then we're going to go ahead and set this to set status to ready. So now we will get our statement in a few minutes via email. And that is basically how you send documents electronically. We can also we'll go to a posted document, posted sales invoices. And from here, we're going to choose print and send. And I'm going to print this. I don't know why. Oh, print and send by email. There we go. So I'm going to block the iPayment services for a moment. And okay. Okay, so here is our criteria for sending an email. You can change your subject line. You can say per your request if you'd like. If they just called and said, I need an invoice, can you email me a copy? So this is what your email will look like. Here's your body. And you notice it's not sending it as an attachment, it's sending it in the body. So if you do a custom message, you say per your request, invoice is attached. Thank you. And you see your attachment name is here. You hit OK. Hit OK. Okay, so there's something wrong with my SMTP settings, and I do apologize. So we can download that if we'd like, and that will populate in your download file, and we can review the invoice. And that is everything it is to sending electronic documents. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
All right, Tracy, thank you very much. That was a very quick webinar that you did. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to type those in and Tracy will get those answered. I'll give just a few moments and I will let you know about our upcoming webinars. So we do have some more webinars coming soon. We actually have a couple tomorrow. K-Commerce will be presenting on fast tracking a B2B e-commerce launch during COVID-19. And also tomorrow we have Seth Lassard from Inovia Consulting, and he's going to be presenting on a useful Git branching strategy to utilize when developing per tenant Business Central extension. So check out our website for more of our upcoming events, and that's inovia.com/events. Tracy, it doesn't look like we have any questions that came through. So I think you covered everything very well.
Oh, thank you.
All right, well, thank you, Tracy, for presenting, and to everyone on our webinar today, or if you're watching on demand, we thank you for joining us. And just want to let you know that we do have a podcast that is going on. If you have not heard of it already, it's called the Inovia Conversation. And we just want to encourage you to listen to our selection that Steve Waltz and Jeff Pergolski, our hosts, have provided to us. And you can find out about all the different podcast platforms to listen to on our podcast page. And that's inovia.com/podcast. So check out the selection and subscribe so you'll be notified when those new episodes air. And fall is here, and that means conference time in our environment. Inovia Consulting is proud to be a premier sponsor for Dynamics Con. This is a new virtual conference that begins tomorrow, September 9th and 10th. Did I mention that this is free to attend? So check out our website to get more information on Dynamics Con. And we are also a premier sponsor for Community Summit, which is also a virtual event coming up October 7th through the 9th. And Summit is the annual gathering for all NAV and Business Central users and supporters. So check out our conference page, and that's inovia.com/conferences for more details on these conferences and how you can save money on your Summit registration as well. All right, well, we thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you soon on another Inovia webinar. Have a great week, everyone.